Welcome in, my fantasy football degenerates. Sleazeball here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new to the channel, as always, scroll down below, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Helps me out a ton. I'm trying to bring you the best fantasy football content to help you win your leagues. This is going to be my week 6 running back stardom situms videos. So on the top box, you will see 2 black boxes. The top one is the away team. The bottom one is the home team. I'll give you a green bar, obviously the stardom. Yellow bar in between lets you know if you start them or not. And the red bar is going to be my situms. And I do make a top 10 situm crazy call weekly. And if you guys want to see all the stats, Twitter of routes ran, running back rankings, snap share, all that, I posted on the tweet after when I do the video after YouTube, all that. All the stats are in there. And let's start balling, baby. Let's dive into it here. So starting off with Monday Night Football, Austin Eckler said he's 99% back for this game. Finally, the Josh Kelly experiment is over. I expect the Fantasy King to be in full effect, full send, 15 plus points. They're going to feed him the rock, especially with Mike Williams gone. He'll see more targets probably than he normally does. I like him a ton this week. I have him at running back 4 right now on the week. Tony Pollard. I don't know what is going on in Dallas land with Mike McCarthy's offense, but I'm going to keep him green. This is a smash mashup for Tony Pollard. This should be like a 20 plus game for Tony Pollard, 100% versus the Chargers week D. I know that Bosa's healthier now. We'll see if Ingram's out there. We don't know yet. I mean, if this isn't a smash Tony Pollard game, I'm going to start to be like, it's time to sell him right now, because I don't know what is going on with his usage. His snap share has been down in the 50 percentile, is 62, 62, 58, 55. That's not Tony Pollard numbers where you drafted him for the draft capital. I need to see more from Tony Pollard. Heading down to CMC land, man. Christian McCaffrey, always a must go every single time, no matter what. I know he had a kind of a 13-point week versus Dallas last week. He got stopped at the 1-yard line. They ran a play action. They hit use check. He could have had 2 touchdowns. I mean, this is the most electric player in football when he's on the field. The best running back. Always going to be a green for me every time he's healthy and on the field. To the Browns side, again, if you follow my Twitter on this one, I said don't waste a ton of fab on Jerome Ford. He's done absolutely nothing since you picked him up. I mean, he's playing against the Niners. This is a must-sit 1,000%. Look what happened last week to Tony Pollard. And Tony Pollard is 100 times better than Jerome Ford. Get him out. Kareem Hunt, too. Get him out. You don't really start running backs ever versus the Niners. Joe Mixon and the Bengals are trying to rule the jungle. This is actually backwards, by the way. The Bengals are at home. I messed that up. But Joe Mixon has consistently put up 10 points a game. He hasn't found the end zone but one time this season. The Bengals are starting to find their groove. You saw Jamar Chase just go silly. I don't know if T. Higgins is playing. It says he's day-to-day, so that update's not there yet, but I'm assuming he's going to play. This is a big game for them. They want to go 3-3. Get to the bye week next week, get healthy, and then be ready to run for the rest of the season and have Joe Burrow ready to go. Now, for the Seahawks side, Kenneth Walker. This guy is a touchdown machine. He might get 20 touchdowns on the year. So I know that Zach Charbonnet is cutting into the snaps more. They're using a 2-headed monster. But I do believe that is typically based on the game script that's happening. If you watch the games that are close in the competition where they're in a good game, you see more Kenneth Walker than you see Zach Charbonnet. But I will throw Zach Charbonnet in yellow. But, I mean, basically because if you need a flex player or something like that and you have injuries, so many people went on IR last week. James Conner, Devon Achane, everybody. I mean, they shit show in injuries. So if you need a flex play, I will say that Zach Charbonnet is a decent enough one this week where he can get you, 5-6 points, maybe find the end zone for the first time in his NFL career. I'm not sold on it fully, but I'll keep him in yellow and a possible flex play. And remember, guys, that the Steelers and the Packers are on a bye that is also at the bottom. I forgot to mention that at the beginning, so make sure they're out of your lineup. Najee Harris, Aaron Jones, Jalen Warren, and A.J. Dillon. Interesting for the Cardinals. So James Conner on IR took a bad injury last week early in the game. We don't, Imari DiMaccardo, I don't want to mess his name up. The undrafted rookie came in. He got 45 yards, a touchdown, and a catch. But that was with Keontae Ingram out, and they also signed Tony Jones. I mean, these are like flex start throws with all the injuries that have happened. If you need to play one, we just don't know which one it's going to be. So I'm going to leave them both in yellow. For the Rams side, Kyron Williams came out as superstar running back. He was number like 2 in total usage the whole time. He's still number 1 in snap share. He's played 290 snaps. It's unbelievable. But he's not put up the points. He's had bad matchups. This is a smash Kyron Williams game right here. Against the Cardinals, he should feast. Joe Mixon just went for 20 carries for 85 yards, but they just fed Jamar Chase the whole time. I think they wanted to get Chase going, so they made that the game plan. I'm going to say Kyron Williams is going to be on my top 5 stardom for Twitter this week. The poor Giants, man. And Saquon Barkley. God, I love Saquon so much. This is a great start for him, though. The Bills' defense is gashable big time. They've been hit really hard this season against the run. They've defended the pass a little better. I know Calvin really got off on him in London last week, but the Jags are like the London gods, man. It's very strange. But Saquon Barkley, every time he's out there, he's always a green for me no matter what. It's just like one of those scary, the Giants' offense is so bad. I mean, if you can sell Saquon, you try. I mean, you're probably not going to get the value that you paid for him for it. But, I mean, he's always going to be green for me when he's out there. James Cook is probably a sell-high candidate right now and most things I've seen, but I don't really buy that it's like a full sell-high. Last week got out of hand in Jacksonville. Their D-line was playing out of their mind. His snaps dropped really low. It was his worst game of the year. He was averaging 15 points a game before last week's 3-point game. He's still right now running back 18, so his draft value is still better than what you paid for him, so that's a plus. I think he smashes right here against the Giants. I mean, every running back smashes against the Giants. This is another player that I will have on my stardom on Twitter, starred James Cook. Get him in your lineups this week. The poor Devon Achane, man. God. So I'm going to leave that star there, by the way, but I'll get that in a second. Miles Sanders, if you haven't listened to what I've said for the past 2 weeks, it is sell, sell, sell. The Panthers' offense is so bad. If Chuba Hubbard takes over, I'd be more excited to watch Chuba Hubbard play running back. Miles Sanders looks washed. Both the Panthers in red. I can't start either one of them any week right now with what I'm seeing. Raheem Mostert just got the biggest bump in fantasy football. God, I had him on sell high, and no one was listening, and it actually worked out against me in that favor. You know what I mean? Like, you can't predict an injury, but since Devon Achane has gone down, Mostert's going to have just a monster 4 weeks. I mean, we don't know the Jeff Wilson injury update yet. Said he practiced today. But against the Panthers, if Jeff Wilson is out there, which I don't expect the timeshare to be this week, I think it'll be like 70% Mostert. But I do think the next week that it will be 50-50 Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert. But the way the Dolphins are moving the ball and running the offense, dude, everyone's a must start for Dolphins at all times. I almost put this one in red or yellow with DeAndre Swift. They're going up against the tough Jets D, but if you look at the Jets D like on your Yahoo or on your ESPN or on Sleeper, it'll show that it's a green matchup. It's not really a green matchup. It is like that because the Jets offense is so poor that the defense is on the field the whole game. So the opportunities just pile up. The defense gets tireder. And with the Eagles offensive line, they're probably going to push them around by the end of the game. You'll see Jalen Hurts and DeAndre Swift run for, however many yards. I'm going to leave DeAndre Swift in green. But if the Jets offense ever starts moving, it'll be a different story. Breece Hall coming off his monster breakout game that I 100% predicted. I put him in top 5 running backs last week. Everyone smashes on Denver. Now he gets the Eagles. This is where you bench Breece Hall, which you're going to, in your head, if you're a fantasy football player, you're going to be like, oh, he just did so good. It's hard to do. And I can't bench him. 100% sleazeball approved. He will not hit his projection this week. King Henry. Titans and the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens-Steelers game was so ugly. 17-10. I mean, the opportunities were there. They got the ball so many times back and forth, and nothing happened. I don't know what is going on with the Ravens offense. They need to sign a running back. Tennessee's been very good against the run besides one game against Zach Moss, or last week where Zach Moss caught 2 big runs. So, I mean, he hit the big runs wide open in a hole. It wasn't like he gashed them over and over and over. He had so many carries for like 2 yards. So the Titans' run is still very good. Give me no Ravens until they do something about this backfield. Derrick Henry's side, I'm going to give him one more shot here. So they're at home. They play better at home. They're going to feed him more at home. I know that Tajay Spears got the touchdown last week. I could put Tajay in yellow, but I still think it's going to be the Derrick Henry show here. I'm going to leave Henry in green one more time around. I mean, he's only running back 13, and you probably paid first or second round capital for him. It's been super ugly. I could see a trade coming if the Titans start losing here, but God, I feel bad for Henry in this Titans offense, man. Here's a top 10 sit-em right here. Zach Moss is running back 4 on the year right now. Literally. Running back 4 overall. Blows my mind. He has 77 fantasy points. His usage has been through the roof. But now it is time 100% to see Jonathan Taylor. We already saw the update today that his uptick is coming. He's going to be out there more often. You know, they're going to give him more than 10 snaps last week. Zach Moss has been getting 83% of the snaps. Imagine when Jonathan Taylor's out there fully healthy, what it's going to be. I'm not ready to put him full green yet because I'm a little worried about still a little snap count of like maybe 25, 30 snaps this game. Next week is when you unleash Jonathan Taylor. But unless you have injuries or whatever, he's still a flexible or, running back 2 play. He might fall in the end zone. You never know, but I'm not full sent on him green yet. Travis Etienne. I've said this for like 3 weeks straight. Buy low, buy low, buy low, buy low. I missed on him so bad in the draft. It's ridiculous. He's RB7 on the year. His numbers are ridiculous. His snap share is 82%. There's been no Tank Bigsby at all. There's no point in owning Tank Bigsby unless you want to handcuff him or something. This is a must-start player weekly. I've been saying that for weeks. Every time Etienne's out there, I'm going to put him in green. Probably every time. He might even be matchup proof, honestly. I'm going to get a little wild here with the Broncos. So Thursday Night Football is Broncos, Chiefs. Javonte Williams, they said already in the update, he's going to be out there starting. There's no restrictions on him or nothing. Fully healthy, ready to rock. And I think they're going to get blown out of the water by the Chiefs. That's why I have Samaje Perine and McLaughlin in yellow, because I feel like garbage time points are going to kick in for the Broncos here in this game. And you might be able to flex one of these guys and get 6-7 points, maybe then fall in the end zone late in the game or something like that, and grab a garbage TD. I mean, I wouldn't recommend starting them as like an RB2 or nothing. This is purely flex play right here. But I like Javonte Williams in this game. I think he's going to outproduce his projection, hopefully. I mean, the Chiefs' run D hasn't been that great. I think this game gets out of hand super, super quick. And the Broncos is just ugly, man. It's just been no fun watching Denver play football this year. The Chiefs side, Isaiah Pacheco, I put him as RB2 on the week, folks. The only guy doing fantasy football content that you have seen do that this week. I've seen I watched Twitter, I watched all the videos, I watched everything. No one has him this high. Everybody beats the Broncos, man. They average 23.5 points per game against the RB1 against them. Isaiah Pacheco is going to go absolutely nuclear this week. Get him in all your lineups. Automatic start, 100%. Pacheco night is tomorrow. Book it. Another injury here with Khalil Herbert. So we'll get to that in a second. The Vikings now lose Justin Jefferson, which is why I'm going to put Alexander Mattison in green. I know that Madison hasn't done much lately. He's been average to below average running back. I'm going to feel like the Bears' run D is not good. And this game could be an exploitable game for Madison. I wish I had like a light green or something like that to put under it. Like it's a very slim green start. but you can start him. And I think you can also flex Cam Akers. His snap share has gone from 30 to 40%. It's getting more and more and more. He has ties with the coaching staff. They know him since, the Ram days. I think they literally traded for him to bring him in as the main guy, but we don't know yet. But it's still the Madison show. But for now, I'm going to put Cam Akers in yellow as a possible flex play if you need one because of injuries. Chicago Bears side. Khalil Herbert with the high ankle sprain. Man, he was going to have a monster game last Thursday too. Oof. He had 10 carries for 76 yards, 7.6 average. He almost found the end zone on that broken run. He was looking good, and then all of a sudden a dumb pass play behind him got him tangled up and high ankle sprain. So now Roschon Johnson also had a concussion in that game as well, and Deontay Foreman was inactive. So this is a double flip right here. So if Roschon, and they said he didn't clear concussion protocol today, that's 6 days. That's kind of worrisome for Roschon Johnson. If he's out there against Minnesota with no Justin Jefferson, whichever one of these running back starts, you can put in green. So I have Foreman in yellow now, but if Roschon doesn't go, I'll put Foreman in green. Flip-flop them either way. I like both these running backs this week, especially against Minnesota with no Justin Jefferson. This could be super ugly. Fields is going to have a monster day. I mean, one of these running backs could fall in the end zone at the goal line for sure. Brian Robinson, another big name, sit him for me. Going up against Atlanta. Atlanta at home is very good on defense. For some reason, they're not the same on the road. I can't explain it. But this is going to be where you have Okudah and Terrell on the outside. Just like I said last week, to bench Nico Collins, and everyone gave me shit. And you should have benched him. Look what happened. He got shut down. They're locked down corners, man. So they're going to focus probably mainly on Logan Thomas, who saw massive targets ever since he's been there. He had 11 targets last week, or 13 targets and 11 receptions last week and a touchdown. It's 18 points for a tight end. It was a monster week. He should have another big week. But Brian Robinson is going to get stuffed in the middle again. I do not like Brian Robinson at all this week at Atlanta. Bijan Robinson side. I don't know what happened last week. I can't explain it. 46 yards was just rough. He did find the end zone on that swing pass, to save his day. Gets the Commanders. The Commanders' run D is not bad, but they did get shattered by Khalil Herbert last week. But that was, they're worried about Justin Fields also. You don't really got to worry about, Desmond Ridder as much. I mean, he can run, but not that much. I still think Bijan is going to be a must-start play this week. I just don't think it's going to be the big, explosive Bijan game that you're waiting for. I think it'll be like 14, 15 points, but he's still a must-start for me. Alvin Kamara. Number 1 in running back touches since he's come back off suspension. I was down on him. I still don't. I'm not fully buying it. I mean, the yardage really hasn't been there, but the touches are insane. And their schedule is amazing. So if you really can't buy low anymore because Alvin Kamara's already popped off 2 games in a row now. They get the Texans. The Texans defense is not bad. They got to play the Patriots. They were up 35-0, so the carries got more and more and more last week. I mean, Patriots are so bad. It's terrible. So I'm going to put Kamara in green. Jamal Williams will be back next week off IR, so we'll see what this running back room looks like with all 3 of them healthy. Kendre Miller even had a big game last week. I think he had like 70 yards and 10 fantasy points as well. I don't like him as a yellow this week, though. I think this is going to be more Kamara because it'll be a closer game. Texans side. Dameon Pierce is just struggling. And I can't explain it. Their offense moves, but it moves passing the ball. It doesn't move running the ball. I'm going to have him on a sit and Singletary on a sit. The Saints' run D has been actually really, really good this year. And I think that Marcus Lattimore is going to lock up Nico Collins again, but I'll get to that in my wide receivers next. And I can't do it with Dameon Pierce. I'm going to put him in red. Ramondre Stevenson bounce back game is coming now. The Raiders, this is his only time left that I'm going to give him. If it's not now, then when? Ramondre Stevenson has been struggling so bad, especially for where you drafted him, probably late 2nd round, early 3rd. He has 33 fantasy points on the year. And he's running back 26. So just put this into thought right now. Jaleel McLaughlin who just came off the wire last week for the Broncos and has been playing limited snaps before that, is running back 24. So he is beating Ramondre Stevenson in fantasy points, which is insane to me, but this is going to be his week. I feel like he goes over projection. He finds the end zone touchdown. Ramondre Stevenson is going to have a bounce back game here against the Raiders. Josh Jacobs, my number one buy low candidate 2 weeks ago. I hope you listened because the breakout is coming and the Raiders' schedule is absolutely phenomenal. So Josh Jacobs has been playing 80% snaps. You never really see Zamir White ever. You'll see a couple of Amir Abdullah on like 3rd and 15 and 3rd and 14. This is the full Josh Jacobs show. I mean, he's going to bounce back. He's going to end up in like the top 5 running backs after this week, probably. He'll get another, I don't know about top 5, maybe like top 10. He's number 15 right now with 54 points. To make top 10, you need 61 plus the week. So he could, he'll probably break into top 10, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, the Patriots look what Alvin Kamara and Kendrick Miller just did to him last week. This team is absolute shambles. They're probably playing for Caleb Williams at this point. It's really ugly in New England. Give me all the Josh Jacobs I could get this week. The Lions. Man, being a Jahmyr Gibbs owner, watching that Dan Campbell tweet today really, really hurt. But it looks like that just David Montgomery is the guy, and he's going to be the guy. And the change of pace guy is always going to be Jahmyr Gibbs, which really, really sucks for the high draft capital that we use for all of us that drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. But this is the game where I'm going to put him in green if he goes. So right now he's day-to-day. The Lions or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is good at stopping the run, but they are not good at stopping pass-catching running backs. And that's where Jahmyr Gibbs thrives. And his projection is only like 8.2. I could see him smashing his projection. So I'm going to say green on both. David Montgomery will still see 20 carries. And this guy's a full bell cow back. It's unbelievable. I mean, I wish I drafted him instead of Jahmyr Gibbs, that's for sure. Now, head into the Bucs side. Rachaad White is seeing 17-plus touches per game. His running back usage is absolutely through the roof. He is number 9 at 77%. I mean, everything is there. The Bucs are actually 3-1 too, which you like. But the Lions run D is number 4 versus the run. And Aiden Hutchinson is a freak, and McNeil in the middle is having an amazing season. It's going to be really rough for Rachaad White running, but I could see him getting pass-catching value. I just don't know if he hits his projection, so I'm going to put him on a sit-em this week. And that is it. I didn't realize that was the last matchup. That is it for my stardom sit-em, guys. Sorry about the cough. I've been I don't know. My wife is sick. I'm sick. I don't know what's going on. My voice sounds like trash, but I'm going to try and get all the videos out. As always, guys, if you like the content, scroll down below, hit that like, hit that subscribe, help your boy out. I'm trying to bring you the best fantasy football content to help you win your weeks. If you have any questions, comments, running back, starts, trades, dynasty, whatever it is, fire them in the comments. I'll try and answer them as fast as I can. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Peace.